Hey guys, I now have a little bit of latency. However, now what I'm trying to do is get my Patreon involved. So just a moment, guys. I'm sorry for being, well, rather, I'm sorry I'm late. Okay, so I'm live just about everywhere now. If y'all come in, I'd appreciate it. Come support me. If not, I want to let you know that I have the loudest chair on the planet, and I'm so sorry about that. But just to kind of set some expectations, all of my streams will be available the day after stream because there is a latency only because I can't possibly um, be expected to stay up all night to put up videos same day. Last time it took me all night to get everything ready, and then the following day I was able to upload the stream. Not too big of a deal. What we're painting today, at least with me, is a black sailfin lizard. I want to kind of show you the colors that I'm working with today. Of course, we gotta have a white medium. I always use Liquitex Basics acrylics. Um, I ran out of black last time you and I painted. We were painting these guys. We may end up picking them up later in stream. Just depends on how this guy is going, because there's going to be a point, just like last stream, where this guy's got to have some time to dry in between layers, because there's sometimes where you don't want to blend, you want to cover, and scales like this guy back here are done on a dry end. So black base, dry completely, and this guy's gonna end up having like rust scales, especially like dust covered gill flaps right here. They're not gills. They're not. Extra skin. Um, so he's gonna have extra skin around here. These are what that's what these little lines here are. I know it's hard to see. Y'all are it's so small, but just like this guy, notice these big flaps of skin. We're gonna go same kind of idea. We're gonna have these nice dust-colored scales in there, showing that he's been rolling in something. So I've got a black here that we're gonna be using. I've got a better quality black coming in the mail. Should be in a couple days. Unfortunately, that won't be so great for you guys today. However, next time we paint, next week, you'll be able to have a Liquitex Mars Black is what we'll go with. It's what I usually use, but currently out. So $2 from Walmart. The Apple Barrel Matte Black is going to have to do. Next one we've got brown and a Titanium white that's unbleached. This is going to be that dust color that you and I spoke about just a moment ago back here. So this light tan back here, all of those colors, that's what's going to be in here. I'm missing a leg back here, but it's alright. We'll find it later. Next, we need to add some yellow. He is in the sun after all. So just like here, just a little bit of yellow really set him off. Add some highlight in there without draining like some of this white down here. If you put too much white on him, it'll just dull him out. So don't want to do that. Got a little bit of red because I like to add a little bit of rest color. Sometimes not just a dust color. So like the difference between this rust color down here and like this dust color up here. The only difference between this and this is just a little bit of red. I am red colorblind, so I end up going with like a, I think it's a maroon, a little bit darker than a solid red like this. A little bit darker helps me get to that rust a little bit more. Sometimes a struggle. If I do, we're gonna go with like a burnt orange or a fluorescent orange. Nice. Ignore all the black that I have here because I used to paint directly on my paint tubes. Back in the days I didn't have this little guy right here. This was again just a failure of a acrylic pour. I've got some more on the ledge someday. If y'all ask, I'll show you on stream. But you know, quite a while ago, I guess almost a year now, I was heavily into acrylic, wanting to do resin pours all the time. See what I did? Unfortunately, I'm not very good at it. I don't like patience. I don't have patience. If it's not something I'm getting paid for, like my day job, I get paid. I am the most patient person in the world. But any other time in my life, I am not patient. So resin pours don't work well if you can't leave them alone. So I realized that that was not the medium for me. So this is a failed attempt at one time where a little bit of resin was sitting in the bottom of my pouring cups. And so I use it for a paint palette. It's wonderful. Love it. I've grown attached to this in a couple of years. And before every stream, I take time and I actually peel the paint off. I'll show you. Take a really large knife and do a star. And then I take my box cutting blade and pull it off. And sometimes you cut it into your hand. I did here 2 years ago. I got 9 stitches. That was a good day. And then, like this week, I actually wounded my hand. Really small wound. But really, I missed the old wound by an inch. I was telling my significant other that apparently I didn't learn from that experience. So, there's that. This should be probably gone beginning of November. I always go once a month to Arkansas, and the person who I painted this for, that purchased the canvas and that purchased this painting, is just a moment here. Okay, sorry. I'm horrible at typing and talking. Again, one of those things that I can only do while I'm at work, right? So, in regards to my colors, I have just a few more. I've got a light green because I'm thinking that in here we're going to have like a couple of pieces of green grass coming up like reeds. And then, of course, apparently black sailfin lizards, you know, spend a lot of time in the water. And I have a couple of reference photos here on my computers, and I would say 60% of them are in the water. So apparently they are quite the little water basking lizards. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I've got a really dark phthalo blue, and we'll be lightening that up significantly. But let me put on my paint mediums and my paint colors back in their order. What order do I put them in? I don't know. Whatever's pleasing at that moment. Usually doesn't take me long to find something. So blue, green, red, orange, yellow. And then we're going to go with a, what is this one called? Raw umber brown, the unbleached titanium white. I like the unbleached titanium more than I like the standard titanium, because then it's just white, which isn't near as fun. And the black and then the white is probably going to stay with me, because we're going to use lots of it today. So let's get started. This is always the hardest part of any kind of painting. I'll just let you know. You gotta learn to get off of it and get over it. So you're probably gonna hear a lot of doors shutting. That's my significant other in the next room. Sorry. I got a noise canceling machine that y'all may hear in the background. Sounds like white noise. And that's purely just to kind of drown out some of my two dogs, because one of them is in here. And then my third is also in the bedroom. So give me just a second here. Sorry for being quiet. YouTube's trying to tell me something, and I don't know what they're saying. Mm-mm. Okay, so I'm trying to take a look to see if I can change my audio properties, because apparently it's not doing great. So I'm trying to take a look at that now. Can y'all hear me any better? I'm not for sure if that's any better. Audio stream current bit rate is 0, lower than recommended bit rate. We recommend that you use audio stream something. 128 kilobytes per second. Are y'all able to hear me okay? I'm just checking again, see if I can, what I can do. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to share this to my phone. Email this. Again, sorry guys. Why would I do that? Just a second, guys. Okay, I don't know if this is any better. However, I just closed it, reopened it. We'll see how it works. I don't like the consistency of that paint, but again, it's one time, and honest to goodness, it's not like I use it all the time. So we're just gonna have to go with it today. So just like the rest of my paintings, I'm probably gonna put down a white first, and just a hair bit of black, because goodness, that black needs a bit of help as far as the consistency. Don't like that either. Alright, yeah. Okay. We're good. What I did was I essentially thinned my paint out. Reason why I did is because I have an under sketch drawing that you can see the basic outline. And if I color too heavily pigmented, I can't see my underpainting and other drawing. So just reshaping that brush before we get started. So I'm going to do his eye because one of my favorite things about these black sailfin lizards are that they have these beautiful, wonderful, beautiful blue eyes. One of the most pale blues I've ever seen. Absolutely stunning. So we're going to do that very first off. Add that real bright blue eye because I think it's going to be attractive, calling to you. And I think it's going to call to me and encourage me to really get into this painting, okay? Like that. Alright. Now we're going to go in with a little bit of white. Okay. Sorry. Looking at my reference photos. They're very important. So what made y'all smile this week, huh? Anything that you were just sitting there trying to decide your life, or you were at work and somebody said something intelligent or funny that caught you off guard? I had a couple of times this month or this week that made me smile. My significant other's son got a job, now working somewhere pretty close. Really excited about that. I think I'm gonna end up going to Arkansas probably first week. Always first or second week. You know, I almost never go right at the end of the month. That weekend I will let y'all know. The weekend I'll probably tell you next week. But that just means that I will probably stream late on like Thursday evening. But don't worry, guys. We'll make a plan when that gets closer. Okay. So what I'm doing now, we got blue and we got the white over here, and I'm gonna try and make a very, very, very pale blue. So again, just like we were talking last stream, and the teacher that caught me taking the pigment and adding white to that pigmented paint said, always add the color to the white. It's just a little bit more blue. Nope, it's a little bit more white. Whew, had a 50-50 shot and I still got it wrong. Y'all will see I do that often as far as that 50-50 shot and getting it wrong. I have A, no luck, and B, if you give me a choice, I'll always choose the incorrect one. I don't know why. Okay, I like that blue. Again, it's very, very pale. Let's see if y'all can see it. Ooh, my black is getting there. See that real pale blue? That's what we're going to go with that cornea of the lizard. Should be pretty. And that's that black sailfin lizard that we're doing. They come from Indonesia. That's about all I know from them. I watched a, like, I don't know, 4-second video a month ago about them. Just showed me a lady holding one, and my pupils dilated. I loved it, and I realized, hey, maybe I gotta think about lizards, but it's alright. We all have to have our thing that we like, and right now mine is lizards, so we're gonna paint some. Anytime I have that reaction when I see an animal for the first time, I go, you know what? We're gonna paint him because they're just that pretty. Just a moment here. Ever controlled or controlling something? That's 100% what I'm trying to do right now. But there we go. That's better. So what made y'all smile this week? Huh? I'm not gonna lie, I spent like, I don't know, 6 hours getting ready for this stream. And of course, right to the buzzer, I was freaking out about it. I had a chill moment, like, I don't know, 3 hours before stream, and I was like, I got this. And then promptly freaked out. Because it never works out as planned. And it 100% did not, just like I expected it to. But that's okay. We're up, we're live, and just enjoying the day. So this week was my sister's birthday. And I have a question, because when I grew up, just like every other child, I grew up with one birthday, New Year's, all that kind of stuff. But my question is, the older I get, the more I see not only me, but other people having birth weeks, birth months, celebrating for much longer than that individual day. Not everyone does that, like my significant other doesn't, mind you. And then I remember last year, I told my father, there's no way that I'm going to be able to get off and be able to come down on the day of your birthday. Spoiler alert, I did. However, I didn't know that at the time. I can't tell a year beforehand on whether I'm going to be able to enjoy and see my family. So luckily, I was able to see my family and absolutely enjoyed it for sure. And I got to go down the evening of his birthday. So it still worked out. I still enjoyed him and still got to be a part of, his, I don't know, his celebration. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. I'm so sorry, guys. A little bit scatterbrained today. So my question is, do y'all celebrate a like birth week, birth month? Do you do more like an evening, or do you have like my sister kind of segregates? I hate to say this. She kind of segregates her birthday celebrations to multiple groups. So like she's got her friends that she works with, and she has a birthday celebration with them, and then she's got like a celebration that she has with my family, that kind of stuff. But a happy belated birthday to my sister. I said it to her the day of, but that also doesn't mean that I shouldn't say it every time I think about her, at least for a week. That's what I try to do is, hey, it's your week. You got older. You made it another year. You're improving yourself. Hey, be proud. So, spoiler alert, that's what I do is I try to do about a week celebration where I may not stay the closest to my diet. I may not, I'll be honest, may not work the hardest on my business. I may not work the hardest with my job, my day job, but hey, it's my birthday. I'm gonna focus on that, and it is okay. It is all right to me to sit, to reflect. What have you changed this year? What do you plan to change next year? In 12 months, where do you want to be? Realistically, where do you want to be? And what is a goal? I try to have a couple of stretch goals. I have a couple of idealistic goals of saying, hey, I know that I'm capable of this, or I know that this is where I should be versus where I'm actually at or where I actually will be. Because sometimes things end up better than what you expected, and I'm going to try to shoot for that, you know. I'm going to try and shoot for best case scenario always, you know. And sometimes I hit it, sometimes I don't. If you told me, you know, a couple years ago even, would I be on stream? Would I be talking to people? Would I be trying to schedule what I'm going to be doing in 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, to see my sister for her belated birthday and to see her for my birthday, you know, my belated birthday. Because we do have quite a close birthday, her and I, just a few weeks. And so I know this will probably be one of the first birthdays in a while I've missed for her, and I feel bad because nobody likes to miss someone's birthday, especially when I probably could have made it, but financially it would have ruined me, honestly. And I've got goals as far as my short-term goals for saving money, and I hate saying this, but it's the truth. While I do want to see my sister for her birthday, and while I do want to support her and everything she's done in the last year and everything she will do, I don't have the money right now. So, right now I'm staying close to the house and painting with you lovely people. So, and what I'm doing right now is I am currently thinning my paint around his eye, right around his corneas. I'm pulling up a little bit of paint, softening his eye, around his eye. Reason why is because I want to make that eye pop. And I can see already in the feed capture it is responding well. His eye's getting pretty. We're going to add just a little bit of white close to his pupil. That is a really cool lizard. Okay. So now we're going to work out from that. And we'll just start getting there. So I want some red. I want some browns. I'm probably not going to pick up my palette very much anymore because my black is taking over. And this red is the grossest paint tube that I have right now. See, it don't even close. I don't know what happened to that. I don't know if I dropped it years ago. But we're not going to talk about it because it's going to cause me stress. And that's not anywhere to live right now. So we're going with a little bit of umber. And again, you and I have talked that it is my mailman or mail lady. I don't know. I don't see that well. She drives it like, or he, they, we're going to go with the they drive it like a race car. Gotta go right now as they pull away every single time. It's great. So no matter where you are in the house or on the property, you're going to hear that person drive away. And you're like, oh, mail's here. Making little bitty blobs around. And then we've got little soda bottle caps that I use and that's for individual color mixtures, especially when I'm doing a lot. Like that pinky brown rust color that I'm going to be looking for in a minute. I'm probably going to do one of these, so that way I can go back to that same color a little bit. I could have a big palette for my mixing, and I used to be that way where I used to have a huge palette and it set on my thumb, and you have all that room. Well, that's great. And then I just started painting on my hand. And I painted on my hand for years. I still do. Still always get paint on my hands, and almost always paint here at some point. Probably will today, and that's purely just because I'm lazy, and it's because I've got a little bitty palette. Because this is the one that I like. This is the one that makes me happy. So that's important. So my next question, I guess, we talked about my sister. We talked about what made you smile. We don't have anybody currently in stream, so I'm trying to answer them as I ask them. Maybe sometime in the future we'll have patrons that are on stream with us, and we can have an actual conversation. But until then, we're going to be kind of by ourselves. Hold on one second. What I'm doing is sending a direct message to one person that should be in our stream talking to us. I'm doing that now. Okay, sorry. And then, like that under eye. But we've got to put some color in there. We're waiting for it to dry right now. So we went with a black, because that's going to be his base skin color. And let's go all the way around the eye, okay? That's cool. Love that. Okay, sorry. Really slow moving. But that's okay. It's part of the deal is waiting. So I have a question, guys. What are y'all's feelings towards social medias? I know that I am working on two or three social medias right now. I have Instagrams, I have Facebooks, I have Patreon, I have my own website that shows you guys my my paintings as I finish them. I have my blog that's on the same website. Um, Of course, I'm on YouTube as I'm streaming right now. Hold on, guys. I'm going to drink my protein shake because I'll talk to you about that a little bit later. But, what else have I done? Let's see. I don't know. But I think about how often I personally go on it and look for things versus go on there to promote myself and my art business. Honest to goodness, the difference would be like less than an hour a day. Um, Usually in the evenings when I'm winding down by myself, after dinner, I'll spend usually 20 minutes or so on YouTube. I usually spend about 4 or 5 minutes, 2 or 3 times a day. Usually at before breakfast, so usually like 6:30. I usually check my socials. I usually connect to my best friend, and then we talk and we enjoy to each other, but not through a social media. So really, my connection to social media isn't huge. I will go on there. I will wish somebody a happy birthday. I will add photos, but my interactions mostly are outside of social medias. So And my question to you guys is do you partake in social medias, and which ones do you like, which ones do you not like, and how often do you partake in those type of, social medias? So that's my question for you guys. Nope, that is not my lid. That's one of the worst things about using drink bottle lids for your paint is your drink is just not the same after it's has paint chips in it. Alright guys, what I'm doing right now is I'm turning on my flashlight. I'm checking to see if the paint is dry. We did this last time in stream. There's in the upper right hand corner here, there's just a little bit of wet paint, but the rest of it down here is dry, and that's what I was looking for, so we can keep going on our lizard here. So do y'all like lizards? Do you like creatures like that? Do you have a fear of them? So if so, what scares you about a lizard? What do you not like about a lizard? They're, from what I hear, they're pretty affectionate. Uh, don't know about this particular type of lizard though. I don't know if, as a pet, these are affectionate. I had no idea. So what we're doing here is we mixed a beautiful color, and I tested the color. Here, I'll show you. Tested the color there. I like it. I'm thinking like the pinks around his eyes. And we gotta have something that's pretty heavily pigmented if it's gonna go over this black. So we can't see it at all. So that's not gonna work. So we're gonna add some white down first. And then we're gonna do it like completely around his eyes. So let's go in here a little bit. And again, guys, just a little bit. This is not going to be white. This is going to be that heavy pink, okay? And then we'll go back with a nice clean black line in between the two rows that I'm doing here. But right now, he's pretty cool, right? Alright, let's sit there for a minute. So, do you think social media is helpful to you? Like, I live 4.5 hours from my family. I have my grandmother, she lives 2.5 hours away. And honest to goodness, I don't go there as often as I should to see my grandmother. And then I've got my parents and my sister that live 3 hours and 45 minutes, 4 hours, somewhere around there. And that gets me to the town, and then my parents live outside of town. They live on the opposite side of town. So that's a good 30, 40 minutes. So that's where I'm getting that 3.5 to get into town. Another half to 45 minutes to get out there. So we're talking 4 to 4.5 hour drive. So I work 8 to 4:45 Monday to Friday, my normal day job. So what would that be? 4 hours plus 4 is 8, and then we got 2:45's hour and a half. That's 9, 10 o'clock. Be the soonest I can go there. And I'm 30, so if you add, my parents were probably in their 20s when they had me. I could do the math a lot quicker or a lot more accurate because I know their birth dates, but hey, that takes way too much time. So they were probably their 20s when they had me, so they're 50s. So, my mother stays up late, but really, am I going to swing by and go, hi, and then leave again because I work the next day at 8 a.m.? So social media helps me stay close to my sister, stay close to my parents. I enjoy seeing them. I enjoy spending time with them. While I don't get to see them all the time, I do get to enjoy being a part of their daily lives where I wouldn't be able to any other way. So, that is one thing that I do get out of social media, but I can't say that I get much more. If I lived closer to my folks, I think, honest to goodness, I would probably be seeing my grandmother online, seeing her daily life. Of course, seeing my best friend, regardless of how close I live with her. Can't get enough of her. And, you know, I don't know of much else that I would probably do. So it's all right. I'm happy. I don't need social media, but I'm that generation. I don't know the people watching what generation y'all are a part of. Unfortunately, I'm a millennial. I say unfortunately because we get a bad rap, but I'm gonna take off my glasses a bit. I'm dizzy. Anyways, sorry. Anywho, off of that nice little sidebar, it should be dry now. Let's take a look, see how it looks. Love it. Love it. Now what I'm doing is essentially putting in those colors that you and I just spoke about just a few minutes ago. Adding that red in there. Now keep in mind this won't stay this color because we're going to go with a white over top of it because she be glistening, bro. But it's cute. Hold on one sec. I still have to have content for my other social medias, so hopefully more people will join us someday. So guys, I'm sorry you're gonna see myself from time to time, but that's okay. That's part of it. So now, what I'm doing, just a moment here. I really wish y'all could see this. Just a second here. We're looking good. Okay. Oh, so what was the last good book y'all read? I'm just going to keep asking these random questions. They may or may not be questions that I have written down on a blue post-it note that sits just out of camera right there. May or may not. I'm not going to confirm nor deny it. So, don't judge me. I'm not great at coming up with conversations on the top of my head. And if there was more like people in here to stream with me, I think I would be okay. If I had... I'm just going to... like that. And I think that once I get more people partaking in my Patreon, where y'all get to see me, I think it'll be easier. And I think I'll have more to talk to and talk about. But right now, we're just learning. We're just figuring stuff out. What do they say? That you have to do like 5,000 hours at something before you're considered proficient or good at something? I'm just busting out those hours. And while there may not be a lot of people wanting to be a part of this future, I'm glad y'all are here for it. And I want y'all to be here for a long time. I like that. Now we're going with a black in between, just like I said before. We're going to crisp up this edge in between the two creases. Because just like this guy, it's important to separate those creases. See these little black lines here? It's where your eyes go, and it tricks you into believing that there's really something going on there, I guess. I don't know. Makes you really think that there's a flap there. And that's what we're going with. Gross. It's amazing. You'd think that I wouldn't mind when paint touches me when I don't expect it. I guess kind of like my nephew. Last time I saw him, he was like, "Wow, that he really wants to boot my nose, kind of like a dog, touch the tip of my nose." And I said, "Little nephew," I said, "I bet you didn't know it." I said, "I probably could go the rest of my life without touching another human being. No one. I'm not a very touchy-feely kind of person. My significant other, I don't mind touching and don't mind him touching me. It's not like I ask him to let me know if he's going to touch me so I can prepare myself mentally or anything. I don't thrive off of touch of others. I never have. And I don't know if that's something in my childhood. I don't know if that's a wall I've built myself. And I believe it now because it's been in place for so long. I have no idea. But what I do know is that I don't have that need to be touched. I don't have that need to be coddled. I like that. He's cool. Alright. Is that not the squeakiest chair in the world? It's horrible. And I'm so sorry, guys. Every time I move, y'all are going to hear it. And I have goals of getting a better chair. But those goals haven't come to fruition yet. And as I meet those goals, maybe y'all will see me flourish, before your very eyes. Be like, "Oh, Bridge got a brand new chair. Her stream must be taken off." That is beautiful. I like that eyeball. Alright, so next what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of gray in. What I'm doing right now is creating a gray. Whoop. See that gray right there? It don't look gray, but it is. Looks brown, doesn't it? Sorry, guys. It's gray. You'll see it on theirs. On theirs gray. Right now I'm going to go with a pretty dark gray. This is going to be his skin color. Before I put his scales on. Another one somewhere. What I did with it, I have no idea. Found it. Perfect. Cool beans. That ain't gonna work. Again, shaping that brush before I put paint on it. Also getting a little bit of water in the bristles. Reason why is it thins that paint a little bit, makes it go a little further. Alright, so let's go. A little further out comes into view. Wow. There we go. That's what we'll keep doing. Till he's a lizard. Till we find one edge. And then I usually just kind of follow that edge over. as I go, he'll come more and more into view. I didn't used to do that. I used to paint like 3 or 4 parts really intensely, and then connect the pieces. But that has its own problems too. So like when I did that, my biggest problem was is that you get weak spots. You know, those spots in between those hyper realistic parts, they kind of go out of focus. And I actually have a, I know this lizard looks great, but I'll show you what I mean. So there's always, I don't care who it is as a painter, there's always parts that you would change if you could go back. So look, up here is where I was talking to the hyper realistic eyeball, hyper realistic nose, and then you connect it. But the problem is when you're really close, really close to that hyper realistic, lots of detail, and just like the nose, really hyper realistic. But the space in between, you lose that. You lose that hyper realism. You lose that polish, so to speak. Like down here and down here. That's where I start off on somewhere that's really hyper realistic, and then I followed the edge. And that's all I focused on. Then we followed the edge a little bit more coming into view, and then I said, you know what? Let's find this edge, and we came down, found this edge, and came across the edge of the painting, and then filled out the rest. That way, this way, where you start right here, you find yourself a spot that you're interested in, like this cool little guy here, and you start working your way to an edge and follow that edge down. And that way, when you're painting, works a little bit better for me, especially when you're working on something like a lizard that's going to have a lot of detail no matter which direction you're going. So find something that really interests you, just like when I was starting this piece and I was nervous. I put down a base color. I said, you know what, this is going to be a gray lizard because it's called a black sailfin lizard native to Indonesia. Okay, sorry. I got stuck in Wikipedia just now. So, so he should be a dark gray or a black because, he's a black lizard. So now what we're doing is I found a spot that I liked. And now we're following it out. So essentially we're going to follow this eyeball out a little bit. And when I get bored with that section, and I'm tired of doing that hyper realism, we'll go to a different section, like maybe his tail and his fin. We'll follow that edge out, follow it back in, and if I'm ready, let's go back to the face for a bit. Let's go to those feet. It helps a lot, especially when you're doing something that's going to be as high detail as this guy is. Right now we're kind of just doing that eye cavity, eye cavity. More of that bone structure that we talked about last time. Sorry for being quiet here, guys. I like that. Now we're gonna continue this on up. There you go. There it is. Was wet that a little. My bad thing about a really small brush is that it really doesn't hold much water. Really doesn't hold much paint either. Just the luck of the draw. Not a perfect brush when it's itty bitty, but really, there's no other way I can find to do a heavily detailed painting like this. Because while this isn't a huge painting, how big is it? 11 by 7 maybe? Let's see. 11 by 14. While this isn't a huge canvas, Um, it is going to be quite a bit of work because I'm going to put that extra time in it. I'm going to put that extra um, work to make it a beautiful, absolute beautiful painting. So that's always my goal, is to make every piece beautiful. Not every piece ends up being to my snuff and, being up to the quality that I want, but we always try. And again, what I'm doing here is putting a little bit of dew, a little bit of eye lubricant that might be there on his eye. I like that. You reckon I'll quit saying that at some point? Probably not. It's part of it. Okay. I'm going to try and find this edge up here. So let's do that now. So you excited about the holidays coming up, guys? I know I'm always excited to see my family, especially if I can get paid for my day job while I do so. So, of course, I'm excited. Of course, I'm wanting to see my family and wanting to spend some metered time with them where I can spend a day or two with them and then leave while everyone's still happy. That's always a good time. That's a great thing about living as far away as I do. While it isn't great, I get to see people when they're happy, I try my best not to be a burden to anyone. It's one of my fears is, I guess, outstaying my welcome, being worried that somebody else is going to not see your visit as being anything other than pleasant. I always get nervous about that. I don't ever want to outstay my welcome with anyone. So y'all just let me know. Okay. But I like that. Just going off my initial drawing here with finding that edge. Just a moment, guys. So I guess that my next question that I have here, just on my blue note that I know of, without having to look at it, would be, are y'all cat people? Are you dog people? Maybe you're bird people. What do you like? What is your preferred pet? Or do you not have one? Like, my grandmother doesn't have one. She prefers not to have a pet. She usually leaves for long periods of time, so a pet's just not going to work. Who wants to go take their animal for an extended stay somewhere when you don't know when you'll be back in town? Or hey, maybe it's going to be several weeks before you're back in town. And that's rough, not only for you and emotionally for you, but also for your pet. So I understand there's some people out there that don't care for having a pet. They don't want that emotional connection. I understand that too. But honest to goodness, my best friend asked me right before stream, I want to say maybe hour or two before stream, she'd ask me what I was doing. I was like, I am de-stressing, getting ready for stream. Because that's what I was doing. I was sitting with my dogs, having a good time with my significant other, just enjoying the morning, getting putting a little bit more white on my palette. I got tired of buying white. Can you tell? I bought a huge container since last y'all saw me. What is it? How much is it? 400 milliliters. I got tired of buying white. Apparently, I took care of that problem, didn't I? Only thing I'm doing here is that it looks like he's blowing snot out of his nose or milk out of his nose. So I'm just whitening because I just want it to be the palette out there. Okay, that looks better. Alright. So, next. What do y'all guys do on your days off? Because what I do is I stream. And currently to no viewers. But that's alright. I'm hoping that someday I will have viewers. I will have those people that want to help support me on Patreon, and if not, at the very least, I'm learning a little bit about myself. I'm being honest and being true. That's what I always try to be, but sometimes no one's perfect. No one is. I don't care who you believe out there is perfect. No one's perfect. If we were all judged about our worst times in life, I'd probably be locked up in an insane asylum. I had a rough go of it when I was young. Rougher time of it when I was in my 20s. But in my 30s now, I'm learning stuff. Learning how to be happy, learn how to regulate my happiness, and, trying to keep other people in my life happy too. Because that's just as important. It's not only as important to keep yourself happy, but encourage happiness in others. Encourage them in your best friend. Encourage them in your boyfriend or your husband, and make them smile. I try one or twice a day to improve not only my relationship with somebody, but try to make their day. I remember I used to work a call center out of Oklahoma. We kind of zoomed out there because I don't want y'all to be squatting my house or anything. And I used to, right when I was about to start my shift and right before I was about to finish it. So, on my way to clock out, that time of the day. I always picked a couple people, usually by random, people that caught my eye, somebody different from the day before. Go tell them the thing that stopped you, the thing that you noticed. It doesn't have to be, you look beautiful today, or you know what, those earrings that you're wearing, they look great on you. Or I just heard that call you were on. Well, I didn't hear the customer. I got to hear how you were treating that customer. And I wish I'd made more calls like that, Something that they did, something that caught your eye. Make their day. And make that connection. It's not that difficult to take 30 seconds and notice what somebody else is doing. It's not going to take you all that long. It's not going to change your day hardly at all. However, seeing someone else's face light up because of an interaction you had with them could very well not only change their day, but you'll realize that it changes yours. That's huge for me. And I used to do it so much more what I do now. And honest to goodness, I think it's probably because I work at home, I work on a computer that's about a foot behind me, where I'm at right now. And that is, it's hard sometimes to work by yourself, be responsible for yourself, and not have a boss look over you. But I've done at home now since 2016, 2017, somewhere around there. Door closing again, guys, sorry. Not my door closing, but somebody's in the house that's closing. And you'll hear it more and more. But, I used to do that, you know, took that extra time to make someone's day. And I don't get to do it very often anymore. I still send messages to people that I have connections to at work. I still take that extra time. But those are people that I know. Those are people I know how they respond. And while that's great, I've lost the ability to connect with random people during the day. People I don't know 2 or 3 times a day to try to make their day better. You know, I have those people that I directly control their day, where I talk to them and work with them on the phone. Yes, I do. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people that I am around. A normal person, Denise, living her best life, working, hating her job probably just as much as I do. There because, unfortunately, she's got to take care of someone, or she needs to take care of herself. And the way she's doing that right now is the same way that you are. And that's currently doing the same job every single day. And I don't know about y'all, but it's soul sapping sometimes. Working for somebody else, doing something you're not passionate about. In fact, I was talking to my best friend earlier in the week. What I'm doing right now is I'm creating scales that radiate from his nostril. It's really cute. I'll show you his nostril. There it is. You can't see it. It's soul sapping sometimes. Clocking in 8 a.m., watching the day go by through my windows. Here. Watching people walk up and down the street, watching people drive up and down coming from work as well. It's soul sapping. Watching life pass. Another day gone. I understand. I've got to be a part of society as well. I've got to make improvements of who I am. I try to do it on a daily basis. But working a 9 to 5 is not my goal in life. It's just not. I bet it's not very many people's goals in life to work, clock out. But if it is, go for you. Have fun. Work at it. Become good at it. And if it's not your goal, use it. Use that frustration. Use that unhappiness to force you to move forward. And if you can't find that passion right now, that's okay. Try tomorrow. And on your way out, point somebody out in your mind. Make a notation of how did you pinpoint that person? What was the first thing you noticed about that person? Tell them. See if it makes your day better. See if it gives you that drive. I know that when I was in my 20s and I was in a really rough spot, that's how I made it through another day. I struggled for a long time finding a reason to be here. Not a reason to go to work or anything like that. I know this is dark and a little bit of a trigger warning beforehand, guys. If you battle depression, if you battle taking your own life, skip ahead a few minutes. I'll wave at you guys, and I'll write down what time it was, and I'll put it in my description. But I oftentimes would struggle. 3, 2, 1. I would struggle with not taking my own life, and I struggled with it for a long time. What I'm doing right now is making scales up to these little fingers up here, little tips of his nape of his neck. Very tip of this thing is what it is, but sail fin. There you go. I struggled with it for a long time, and something that helped me change that was my bicycle. And after every single work shift, going out there and taking all my frustrations that I had at my boss, taking all my frustrations of where I was in life, taking all my frustrations at that time college, and putting it, leaving it all on the road, leaving it on that trail somewhere in northwest Arkansas, and making the concrete that much thinner as I drove and rode by. And after an hour or two, I'd be spent, almost completely spent, where you sit there for a second, catch your breath, and you go to try and move forward, and you can't move forward anymore. And then I'd come home, and it's a scary line to walk down, and a scary moment as you say, well, where would my life be, or where would this life be? Where would Northwest Arkansas be, or where would my mother be without me? Would she be better off? Probably not. Would she miss me? For a little while. And I'd play that game every single night. And I'd think about that person, that one that I reached out to. The one that I said, you know what? I heard you make that call. And I wish I made that same connection to every single one of my customers today. I would do that. And I loved every minute of it. Every minute of it. And I realized, even if it's just once, twice, even 3 times a day, I was not only trying to make someone else's day, it gave me a reason to show up tomorrow. It gave me a reason to stay at my 9 to 5, or in this case, 8 to 4:45. Because while I saw a little of how it made other people smile and say, you know what, it meant a lot to me. While I noticed some people were like flabbergasted that I took the time out of my day, took the time out of the conversation I was having with somebody to say, you know what, your hair looks fantastic today, or your earrings look wonderful, or where did you get that top? Because my goodness, I can't live without it. It was a reason to come back. It was a reason to move forward. Let me write this time down real quick, guys. We're 59 minutes, 27 seconds. Right now, 59, 36, 37, 38. So, what is it? About an hour into stream. And I said I would wave. So that way I know where to mark and set a time. There's some people that struggle like that, and I want to thank you for being not only responsible, but taking the effort to be here for my streams, and maybe this will be your reason to come back, right? Another week in the books. Week to your future. But anywho, back to a better time, right? It's a pretty lizard. I know y'all can't see his individual scales. Y'all are so far away. But he's cool. And you'll see some pictures of him. Immediately after stream, I'll take a picture of him so I can do it before and after. So y'all can enjoy what y'all watch me paint a little bit. But right now, I'm putting in just a little bit of black scales. And he is a cool lizard for sure. So let's see what else I have on my list of questions. Favorite book of all time? And why? I know my answer. It's been the same answer for a long time. I would say since I was early teens. I read a book. I was walking with my mother after school, after I was going to like a 4-H meeting, and after that, we would always go to like a Barnes and Noble, something like that. And while I didn't grow up in a family that got to partake in buying books very often, I liked a book that I came across. Let me come up with because who wrote it deserves their moment of shine here. Just a moment. Very simple title. MODOK by Ralph Helfer. Originally published 1997, so relatively new. I consider it new. A couple hundred years, I'd say new. So, new, written about a young boy and his elephant. And it was them living their life together. They were born on the same day, same year, within just a few minutes of each other, I believe. And it was him telling his story of his life with his elephant and the life they lived with each other, through the years. And it was a really, really cool book. I learned a lot about elephants and a lot of life at that time where he was. I'm not going to go any more further details, but I learned a lot, and it kind of is in that same thing that I was talking about earlier when it was in that, when I had that trigger warning, because we all deal with time. We all have that time in our life where we struggle. In my opinion, now that I'm through those times in my life currently, it's what makes it a journey, and I adore every minute of them. And while I wasn't happy at the time, I know that it helps me be the best me, you know. It helps me be a better person. It helps me be a happier person for sure, learning those lessons that I learned back then. But you know, while I'm not perfect, no one is. I'm glad I made the choices that I made that pulled me here. So, I really hope that you guys keep coming back. I really hope that this can become a home-based business for me, and hopefully maybe a year, maybe even two, I'll be able to travel back to Arkansas full time, where y'all can be on that trip with me. Maybe we can do some live paints. That would be cool. I'd like eventually to do some sipping paints, because while I'm not sipping today, I may sip in the future. But I want to, as I always do about this time, I say always, we've had a grand total of 2 streams so far. I'm going to pull up my Patreon. I'm going to read to you the tiers of becoming a patron of me and my business, because it's important to me and it's a goal, and I hope that more and more people will enjoy my content and want to be here, want to be a part of it, want to make comments that are going to be recorded and saved in YouTube until, it's not a platform or it's not free someday. So very first off, we're going to start with base tier, $10 a month, where you are a part of this stream live on patreon.com. I will post a 3-hour stream I want you to be a part of, and I send you personally 5 coloring book outlines each month. These are going to be my paintings that I scan. They're digital. What you do with them, I don't care. You can let your daughter or son paint them on like a watercolor printing paper, or you could do like a white, heavier, almost like a resume quality paper, thicker, and do like pastel or watercolor. You could color them with a crayon from Crayola or RoseArt or whoever you like to use for your coloring or your crayons. I really hope that you cringed on those, but if you didn't, hey, and those are your deals, love it. I want you to be happy. I want you to find something you love, and I want to be a part of that, But taking some of these cool paintings of mine and dumbing them down, leaving them available for you guys, and sending them every month, I think is really cool as a bronze tier, base tier, just being a part of my streams. Silver, you get a small painting, and this is going to be sent to you every month, along with your just a minute, sorry guys. You get those 5 printouts a month. If you want to go up, that's $30 a month for that silver tier. That's with the painting and the 5 printouts. One above that is going to be a bigger commission, so that's going to be this size. It's something that will be sent to you and is free of charge, but this is something that is I will pull the name out of a hat of my gold tiers as I get them. Quarterly, I will do a drawing, and I will allow you to pick something either on my Etsy or on my website, and I'll send it to you. Now give me just a few minutes, guys. I'm gonna do a brief just want to let y'all know I've been silent for hours. I'm gonna have to do a voiceover. I'm so sorry. I swear I'm gonna figure this out. Well, I missed you guys. You didn't know it yet, but I was missing you. How cool is he? He looks really cool over there. Let's do some pimples on his face. Little scars. Something hard pinched his lip one time when he was trying to eat it, you know. What do they eat? I don't know. I don't know what these dragons eat. A few yellow spots, fourth and fifth toes, several knees, and near the base of the toe. Black is the sail, black, dark violet with black stripes. Oh, we're doing that pretty well. What do they eat? Does anybody know? I don't know. Sorry, may hear doors opening here. They eat fish, frogs, fruits, vegetables, and insects. Defends itself from predators by escaping into the water, often dropping from trees, limbs where it rests. Now we know why they like the water. So, let's keep going with my cool little lizard over here. So we're 2 hours in. Talked about quite a bit, and had moments of extreme silence after I went to the restroom. And I'm so sorry, guys. I forgot to turn off the mute of my mic and sit here talking to y'all. Talk to you about a couple of things. I talked to you about like depression. Talk to you of a way that I know of to help combat depression. Like I was talking about how I choose to sometimes pick out people in my work and mention something that attracted me to them, not physically in any way, shape, or form, just saying, hey, you made an impact today. I wish I worked with you, or I wish I had your work ethic, or something to that effect. And before long, he realized that tomorrow isn't going to be as bad, you know. And I hate that some days I have those days where, you know, I have to remind myself, hey, tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow will not be as bad and as rough as it is today. But we all have those days. We all struggle from time to time. And the big difference is being able to say that. Being able to say, you know what, today was rough. I had a rough time for this reason. But you know what? Tomorrow's a new day. I don't need to sit and make myself feel horrible about it. I don't need to sit and focus on everything went wrong. What I need to focus on is, hey, tomorrow's going to be better. My next stream, I'm not going to forget that there's a mute button that I forgot to turn back off. What I'm doing here, just like kind of his jawline, things like that. I really hope I didn't paint the back of my head just now. Putting in some bigger scales adds a little bit of authenticity later in your painting. Even with this guy, I did the same thing. A couple rows of large scales from time to time, especially when you want to add a streak or a large contrast. So like his lips is going to be one, kind of like snakes. I know they're probably lizards. I haven't looked at them recently, but just a moment here. Okay, sorry. Usually have a plated, and now I'm gonna go back with. I'm so sorry. Guys, I talked about my doctor and how I'd lost a lot of weight and I still had a long way to go and how I couldn't wait to get back into riding my bicycle, but that's for when I hit below 200. Y'all miss so much. That's alright, I'll go back and this is the reason why I don't commit to sooner than 24 hours after stream. I will get it on YouTube because tonight and probably tomorrow, till right before I do the upload, I now have to make a audio recording because I somehow forgot that I put myself on mute and didn't turn it back on. Oh, I just put some scales on his chin and bro, he looks great. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to, kind of like I did back here, I'm going to do on down here. Ooh, I touched something that was wet. Sorry. I just put his chin in. That's how long my memory lasts. But, anyways, while I do this, what I consider ticking, individually putting in hairs. I did that on last stream, and then I ended up painting over it, which was demoralizing, but it happens with every painting. There's always a spot that you paint that you're not happy with, and being able to go back and saying, you know what, that's not meeting my expectations. It's not the quality that I normally paint at. Going back, going, you know what, you're right. I know I'm compromising. Right now, neither one of these horses are done. This one's closer. This one's closer than that one. But this is 2 hours in it versus I repainted over this and I've got about 45 minutes into this girl. So I've got another hour and a half on her, another maybe 15, 20 minutes on him. But we're not focusing on that today because so far we've been painting in such thin coats here of doing this like ticking and doing scales. I did eyeballs and then a highlight. All the previous layers have been so thin that we have not had to wait for it to dry. So we're getting lucky here. And how awesome is it going to be when both this lizard and that one are sitting next to each other on the wall and they're looking at each other? It's going to be pretty cool. Did I make this painting thinking of that? No. When did I think about it? I don't know. Hour ago in stream. I was like, ooh, it's going to be cool at some point. But alright. Absolutely love this. It's going to be a really cool painting. Got a long way to go on him, but he's a cool painting for sure. So something weird about me that I didn't think was weird until I started talking about it when I was with my friends at work and other places is that sorry, used to and still do. I have like, I don't know, I'd say 20, maybe 30 pairs of socks. I have, y'all will count. I bet you will at some point. I would say 10, maybe 12. 10 outfits, about 2 weeks worth, 10, 12 outfits. And that's it. And I didn't realize this at the beginning. There may be people that have less than me even. But apparently that's not a very big wardrobe. I don't need a big wardrobe. I never have been one for a huge wardrobe, but I didn't think it was extremely small either. And then I was working with my boss, and she's like, "Are you kidding me?" She's like, "I have hundreds, I have thousands, probably, of socks." I was like, "Yeah, I can make it maybe a week, maybe two of my significant other not doing socks or not doing a load of whites before I'm in trouble." Actually, my socks are black, but you know what I mean. Um, Sorry, I was making a decision when it came to this painting. I'm still making that decision on what you're talking about. Nothing better than milking a paintbrush. Look. Hmm? Sorry. Doesn't take much. Shh. 3 drops. Milk the rest. Now here's the time where we gotta check again to see how the paint process is drying. Get a little bit of wet in here, a little bit of wet in here, but luckily that's nowhere where I'm gonna be. So what I'm doing right here is I was thinking like, notice outside part right here, usually pretty white. It's not on this guy. Right now it's pretty sunken. So, eh, pretty cool. And it's different than his actual white scales, you know. Let's go. Eh? Yeah, like that. Okay, I'm done with that before I mess him up. There we go. He's cool. Still just loving the vibe of this guy. He's badass. Cuss words. Sorry. We're gonna write down that time too. What minutes are we? 1 hour 45. 1:45. See if I can bleep out that word because that's unbecoming of me, and I'm sorry to those people in stream that had to hear that. I'm sorry. Anyways, back to what I was doing. Just it's beautiful. I like that. Now we're gonna go back with accent scales in here. Like to look really cool and start going for some wrinkles back into here because they're gonna come in eventually. But right now, let's start dimpling in some scales, huh? Because they're already there in black, but there's just something about individually creating scales that's not only appealing, but it's nope, can't come up with the word right now. I don't know. It's not convenient. Not. Makes you feel good. What's that word? I don't know. Again, when I'm by myself, I can't. Putting a little bit of gray in here. Hey. A little bit bigger than I wanted. That's okay though. I'll show you in a minute what I plan to do with this, because these are not going to be white. I know they are right now. I know they are. Y'all are just going to trust me a little bit. But they're not going to be for long. He's a cool guy. Waiting for it to dry. Do you want to see if it's dry yet? No, not dry. But we can mix it gray. What? You're telling me you already knew it was going to be a gray? You smarty you. But look, guys. It's also going to be a wash. 1, 2. Love that. Alright. Is it ready yet? Yeah. Remember when I said it wasn't going to be white? You just gotta trust me a little, y'all. Sometimes just a little bit of wash is what makes the difference. Eh? But, oh, we're gonna do some of that here. Yeah, we're gonna do some of that here too. Eh? Love it. So we got about 40 minutes left in stream today, guys. What I'm doing here is I'm gonna put down next section. Because remember I told you we find an edge, we fill out the edge, and then we make a beautiful painting, right? No, I'm not done with this any part of this area. I'm not done with his eyes. I'm not done with his bags under his eyes or his nostrils. None of it. I'm not done with it. But as my passion drains for that area, we keep going. We move forward. We zoom out. What's that other section that I need to do next? Of course, everybody knows it's his neck. So we're gonna, because remember I said that this was the end of his, whatever you call those things, sail fin? The fin that sits on his back. He's still got some down here, right? Just doing a rough draft here. Just kind of a, what would it look like? And he's got his main neck in here. he's going to have, as I drew earlier, he's going to have some creases. Don't we all? And maybe he's giving you that look saying don't look at his wrinkly skin on his chin. It makes him self-conscious, right? You don't know. We don't know what this guy's saying. Look at that eye. He's serious about whatever he's saying. He said he will eat you. But his whole mouth's about this big, so maybe he won't eat you. Unlike this monitor lizard. God, they're huge and heavy and very, very dangerous. Don't mess with those guys. They will hurt you. Like his little scent gland there. Gross. That'll be his neck. Next is that same kind of color makeup we gotta do. Gotta get his skin in, then we'll go with his wrinkles again. Go with a white base. Add a black color. Love it. A little bit darker to match his face. Nope, darker still. Love it. Who am I kidding? I've liked the color about 4 times. I liked it when it was white. I liked it when it was gray. I really liked it when it went charcoal. And then liked it again when it turned black. So don't judge me. I like all this color. And it kind of goes with the spoopy feeling too, right? Big old scary lizard that's eyeballing us. Eh. That's just for me to delineate like his neck and fin, back sail fin area, and his neck for later. That'll be helpful. Y'all won't be here, but I'll probably still be here another day or two painting this guy. It usually takes me about a week to paint a painting of this size. Sometimes I do it faster. It depends on my level of interest in the animal. You know, if it's one for purely my viewers, if it's somebody, you know, family member, friend that I have that I'm doing a painting for, week or two, sometimes like that goes going on 3 weeks. But like this lizard, took me a month, took me a long time, and it's purely the amount of detail that's in him, you know. Wasn't the lack of wanting or lack of drive, it was the amount of ticking that I did, it was the amount of work that I did. Some just take longer than others. How's that look? You liking his neck? Get that base skin coat in, that's what we're doing, guys. We got his bones, we got his shadows. Now we're putting in his basic skin tone. And going back in with our shadow color again. Happens to be our base scale color too. That's what happens when you have a black lizard and its normal name, or I guess I say normal name, I'm so sorry. The English version of his name being black sailfin lizard. He's charcoal and black. That's okay. He's still beautiful. And I still think he can kill me, even though he's small. Do you know how big they are? Because I do. We'll do a search in just a second to find out how big they are. Oh, he's pretty. Let's see, size. 3 foot long, 4 foot male. Females are usually a third smaller. So 3.5. Pretty close. Don't judge. I mean, doing mouth. Or not mouth, but mental math. I'm not very good at it still. Wasn't hugely off, was it? Okay, now I gotta do real math because, and I say real math by taking 4 and dividing it by 3. Don't judge. I don't do mental math well. 4 divided by 3. 1. I said 1.5. It's 1 1/3. I really should have done that better. Makes me feel a little dumb, but you know what? I'll get over it. I'm not gonna dwell on it. Dwelling on failures, while it's important when it's a big failure, when it's something like not knowing 4 divisible by 3, not a huge deal. I'll live. So will you. So don't dwell on it. Don't let your mind eat you alive, because it will. I don't know what reason we have such, or I rather, have such huge amounts of guilt over everything, every little mistake I make, but it's not healthy. I'm not going to let it eat me alive. So you know what? We're just going to sit here. We're going to paint a black lizard, and we're going to enjoy every second of it, because y'all are here with me. And again, if you can't afford to support me on Patreon, and you can't be a Patreon of mine, I'm gonna try to say this again. So even though y'all can't or may not want to afford to be a patron of mine on patreon.com/chasing a dream artistry, even I have never been able to support someone financially to do something that I love that they do, like painting in this case. I still watch them elsewhere. I watch them on YouTube, or I watch them on Twitch. I still enjoyed what they did, and I try my best to support them in different ways. And I'm not going to tell you guys how to support me. I'm not going to tell you guys how to watch my content. If y'all like watching it on TikTok, if y'all like just seeing my paintings on my website, if y'all like watching me on Facebook, I appreciate you and the time that you take to enjoy my art. I'm going to do my best not to talk about things that are depressing. I'm going to try my best to talk about things that make me smile, make me happy. Like the thing that made me smile yesterday. My green tomatoes. And my grandmother used to say that my grandfather would be upset because no matter how many tomatoes he grew, no matter how many plants he grew, she was always picking the tomatoes off before they were red, before they were ripe, so she could make fried green tomatoes. And I made them yesterday. I made fried green tomatoes. And it took me back to those times of her telling me that, because my grandfather died when I was young. I think probably before I was 10. He was gone. There was reasons why. We're not going to talk about that. It's not the place for it or the time. But so she would tell me stories and tell me times. And maybe care about that past generation, you know. You know how human nature is. And she said that he used to get upset because she would be picking all of his tomatoes for green tomatoes. And it's now gotten to the season here in Oklahoma where I live that the season's changing. We're starting to get some uh, fall colors, but it froze. And it was not until about 9, maybe 9:30, even maybe 10 o'clock before I made the decision. You're right. I can't wait anymore. It's going to freeze. So I'm out there with a flashlight, and I say by a flashlight, you'd think that I had a mag light or something like. I had my flashlight on my phone, sitting bent over my plants, and I don't have a lot. I had a cayenne pepper, I had a serrano pepper, and I had my significant other's hoofing it down the road. I guess he was wanting to walk today. Wish he'd done it with me. Oh well. I'll walk with him later. I'll force him to go. It's gonna be a good time. I don't remember what I was talking about, guys. I'm sorry. That's the only bad thing about doing stream of consciousness video, because nobody's currently in my stream to talk to and to create content with, so y'all are just stuck doing this with me. Oh, we were talking about green tomatoes. And so I finally made the decision, late at night, what I consider late at night, it's already pitch black, to pull my fruit, pull the plants that are still on the vine. And I pulled it all. I pulled my entire serrano pepper fruits. I'll show you all my picture. I pulled all of my cayenne pepper plant fruit, and I pulled all of my tomato crop. And I had 2 tomatoes, and about 5 bell peppers. Not a huge amount. And so I made fried green tomatoes yesterday evening. And my significant other, as I was making them, the past bubbles up. It always does. And so I was talking to him about that conversation I had with my granny, and how she was talking about how my grandfather always being mad because none of his plants, and she did this well up until a couple years before she passed. She said none ever grew ripe on the vine for her, because that was her preferred way of eating tomatoes. And I eat most of my tomatoes ripe from the vine in my yard. I usually pull them maybe 24 to 48 hours before they're ripe on the vine, and I would let them ripen completely on the vine. But I have a dog. He's not in this room right now, otherwise I'd have him say hi to you guys. But I have a dog. His name is Elvis. I bring him up probably every stream. And he thinks, and good luck changing his idea on what he thinks. He's old. Tomatoes are not there for me. They're for him. And so they don't ever make it to ripe. They'll make it to about 12 hours before they're ready, before they're ripe. And then he'll eat them right off the vine. You should have seen him ripe harvest season about a month ago. I was getting maybe 12 to 15 grape tomatoes. I was having about 2 or 3 of the Cherokee purple tomatoes that I had on one particular plant out there. And he was, every day when I went out there, he was neck to full body in the grape tomatoes. Because he said, you know what, they're ripe right now. I'm going to take advantage of them. And he 100% did. And he didn't feel a bad bit about it either. He was enjoying himself. He said he likes his ripe. Don't let yours get ripe. He'll eat yours too. Love that damn dog. So I got about 30 minutes left to stream. Shame there's anybody in here to talk to me, because if you were, I'd ask what y'all wanted to talk about right now. I may or may not have just checked to see if anybody dropped in, but no. It's okay. I'm enjoying myself. So I'm going to take this last bit here, and then, because I've got all of this ticked in now, and I'd like to add some color in there. I'm thinking like a cream. I decided right then to do it. Actually, didn't do too bad on my hand today. That is paint. It doesn't look like it, but it's not an injury. So let's put some in there. I know it doesn't look like it, but each one of those dots that I just did, those are actual scales already on him. And then I'm just highlighting the tops of them, just like I did up here. These are a little bit larger. Cute chest, huh? Oh, my back. Because of my hip problem, I just want to let y'all guys know why I'm complaining about my back from time to time. Because of my hip and the way that the ball of my hip is placed, I've always had knee and back problems, and I do my best to manage my problems. But one thing that almost always bothers me is my back. I'm hoping once I get my weight under control and I visit a chiropractor, not a chiropractor, orthopedic. I've got a couple here locally that I want to try before I find the right one that I want to, go under the knife with. I'm hoping that I'll meet one that can explain a little bit better for me. But, I've dealt with pain my whole life, and it's not gonna get any better as I get older. It's a joint. Joints wear down, they wear out. And with me having an inherent problem with them anyways, a genetic problem, unfortunately I'm going to have my fair share of that pain. But what I'm going to try to do, I'm thinking year, maybe year and a half. To have hip surgery. And with that hip surgery, get out of the constant pain like my back. But the back today is my fault because I'm leaning forward. I'm excited. I'm not sitting back like I should be. But I think you guys and I may say goodbye with these two lizards on the wall staring at each other. How cool would that be? When I say goodbye to you guys, I'll hold him up because he's cute. blizzard. Get a little tacky there. Alright guys, I'm gonna take a picture real quick for my TikTok. Probably gonna come out later this week. And then I'm going to show you guys what I'm painting on. Alright, so let me show you guys. Cool guy. But, anywho. Well guys, it's just about that time, you know. Nobody likes to bring their streams to an end, but we all have to at some point. I have to drink my energy drink, or not energy drink, my protein powder. But my doctor has increased me because I went from eating 1,200 calories a day, and he's like, okay, well, 3 months after I've seen him, you know, I'm out of medicine, and he's like, okay, where you at right now? I tell him my weight, tell him what I'm struggling with, what I'm not struggling with, all that kind of stuff. And he said, okay, well, how much protein are you getting? I was like, man, I'm getting plenty, you know. He just sit there looking at me. I was like, ugh. Let me look on my phone, and I have a fancy dancy app on my phone that connects to my scale. It tells me the protein that I'm intaking, the protein or muscle weight that I'm intaking, all that kind of stuff. My macros, that's what my grandmother calls it. I don't know what it is, but I have a app on my phone that tracks all that. It tracks several things, but a couple things that it tracks is the amount of protein I intake, and it also tracks like my fat, my calories, and how my weight is trending, and how my I don't know, my hydration is trending, stuff like that. And so I pull it up, and I'm getting like, I don't know, 30 grams of protein a day. And he's like, yeah, I want you to increase that. He said he wanted me to increase it to 60 to 80 grams a day. And so I have. And the only way that is comfortable for me at this point, I know that eventually I'll hit a point where that's not what I have to do for increasing my protein and stuff. I know I'll find healthier and better options. Not that I'm asking any of you guys what you think I should do. I'm just letting you know what I'm currently doing in my journal of health. You know, what I'm doing to become healthy. What I did to get from 260 to 217 right now. The way that I'm doing it right now is a little different than the way I was doing it back then. But right now, I'm drinking 2 protein shakes a day, and then I'm having one solid meal in the evening with my significant other that's healthy. Like last night, we had turkey burgers and fried green tomatoes. While fried tomatoes isn't healthy in any way, shape, or form. It's a vegetable instead of um, bread, and it's a option that I have, and that's what I ate because that's what I have on hand right now, and that's what I need to eat. I'm not gonna let them go bad. If they were red tomatoes and they were ripe, I would can them. But canned green tomatoes just sounds wrong. Pass. Almost. Just this much. One little bit, what is that, inch and a half? Again, these are not gonna be white. But just a minute, right? They are right now. We're about to make them go away. They didn't go away at all. So let's put a little bit of black. We're gonna moisten. Oh, that's so much water. See, it's about time to be done with stream. The only reason why I say that is because I'm not as polished as I want to be, and I'm starting to get a little bit careless. And that's never a way to be. So we're gonna stop. But how cool is this gonna be, guys? Y'all get to see some of the clutter that happens behind the frame. How cool will that be? Two lizards, both tails going off in the back, one sailfin, one a monitor lizard. She's gonna be pretty. At least until somebody buys this or wins it as a patron from Patreon. Hey, this could be y'all's that you're watching me paint. So I'm gonna read one more time because we got like 18 minutes left to stream. I'm gonna read it better this time because last time was rough. I promise I'll get better. So Patreon right now, base tier, $10 a month. You get to be a part of my paintings. You get to be here live. Right now I'm working with YouTube Studio, and I'm working with OBS for Windows in order to do this stream. And I'm here for 3 hours, at which this is once a week right now. Quarterly, I will have a vote on what time works for you guys, or whether you want an hour and a half one time and you want an hour and a half next time, whether you want it like 2 times a week, an hour and a half, and you want it at a certain time that's convenient for me in regards to my work. So like right now, currently my shift is 8 a.m. to 4:45, so I wouldn't even be available until 5:30, 6 o'clock. And if y'all wanted, next mm, next quarter, if y'all want me to do a 6 to 7:30, or you want me to do a 6, 7, 8, 9, 6 to 9 p.m. on Tuesdays, then that's what I'll do quarterly, and I will schedule everything else I want to do around that. So bronze tier, next step up, is 20 a month. It's twice the amount. However, yes, you will get access to the stream. Yes, you will get to vote on my stream. You get to submit what next week you would like me to paint. So you get to make a vote and say, hey, I want next time for you to paint a horse. I want you to paint a frog. I want you to paint an egret, or maybe it's Ursula or Jack Sparrow you want me to paint, and it will go in a bowl. boop. And then at the end of stream, black now, and we're kind of just saying our goodbyes, I'll pull it and say next time on stream, this is what we're going to be painting. And it was by this patron that subscribes with me and is a bronze tier, and they are going to be the one that decides what we get to paint next week, guys. I appreciate you so much. And then you will be also getting those 5 free coloring pages a month, whether it be the lizard or the egret or the frog, and I'll have so many more paintings as I come along, and I have quite a bit of drawings as well that I can pull from, at which I'll be simplifying the outlines, opening up the cells, and distributing them, guys. Again, 5 a month, and then we'll be able to either color with me, you can paint, you can watercolor, whatever you like. And as long as you do not sell my drawings to the highest bidder, I'm not going to be upset on what you end up doing with it because it's yours. So, next step up, silver tier, 30 a month. And this is if you want a tangible painting. So this, not only will you get to vote on stream times, be a part of my Patreon streams, see my content earlier than everyone else, you also get to get those, coloring pages, and then you also get a small painting. While this painting isn't huge, this size painting, and this is a 5" by 7 canvas. It's on canvas. Sometimes it could be on a board, or canvas, but I'm currently listing them 25 online, and $30 a month plus you get my streams and all that kind of stuff, and so it's worth it for me. And it's going to be different every month. If I have 15 subscribers in that silver tier, I'll be sending 15 of you guys a painting. They may all be frogs, they may all be egrets. You won't know until you get them. I won't allow anybody else to know what it is. So next thing is if you want all of those things and you want a large painting, and we've talked about this on stream today, quarterly, you have to be on there and subscribe for a quarter. You get to pick one of my paintings that's sitting in my studio. At the end, I'll say, hey, so this subscriber is the one that won the painting this quarter. And in chat, I'll ask you to pick it. I'll pull it off the wall. I'll take the adhesive off of the back, so like this. Well, of course, it'll be a larger one, but I'll take the adhesive command strip off. Just like if I sold it on my website. I take it off because it leaves no residue. I make sure it's signed and that it's got a year on it. And then I'm going to put on the back of it, I'll put in what stream it was on, what day it was on that you picked it. Because it'll be a larger painting. It can be one of these guys. So the size that it can be up to would be this 11 by 16. No, 11 by 14, sorry. 11 by 14 size, so I can make sure that I support you guys as well. So again, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tiers, ranging from $10 a month on up to $40 a month. But it's up to you guys on how much you spend, or none at all. Whether you want to watch me on YouTube, whether you want to watch me on Patreon, whether you want to watch me on Twitch, whether you want to watch me on TikTok or Facebook. I appreciate you guys for being a part of this journey with me. I hope that you and I continue to work, and I hope that you guys will stay with me longer sometimes. Maybe we want to paint a full painting from beginning to end, or maybe I'll just get faster at painting someday. I don't know. I know I paint a lot faster now than I used to, and I hope to continue to progress as an artist and help to get more out of my paintings. Like, I know looking at these two paintings side by side now, I've become a better artist than what I was before. And I hope to continue to do so, and I think that this is going to be the best way for me to do so. Whether I'm painting horses with you online, whether I'm painting a lizard online with you guys, or maybe you'll have a better idea than I do. And I welcome your feedback. I welcome, and I hope that you stay on this journey with me. Like, if you take a look, I'll show and try and change our background pretty often. These paintings that are up here, I hope to change them pretty regular. And go, and even if I show you some of my originals, some of my ones that I did a couple years ago, at that point, I was immensely proud of them. I'm still so happy that most of them are still in my studio here in Oklahoma. And so I get to enjoy them. I get to see them. I get to pick them apart and say, here's what I did with them. Here's what I learned from that painting. And here's what I could do better. And I am immensely proud of even just this guy that I'm starting to work on. It's cool being able to see where you were at that time, what you were good at, what you learned on that painting. Like, I'm able to paint these lizard scales and blow them out pretty quick and easy. And the reason why is because I spent a lot of time sitting here ironing all this out and learning how to paint this. And while it's not perfect, I learned a lot. And I learned with you guys on stream today. Notice I took a time at which, a half hour, I didn't paint with you guys. And the reason why is because I got to a point of frustration here. And instead of allowing that frustration to take over my day, instead of allowing my into my stream being a part of frustration, I took a time to take a time out and to bring it to you guys and to say thank you for being a part of this stream. I want to fix this eye real quick. Sorry, it was important. I appreciate you being a part of the stream today. I appreciate you for supporting me, whether you're watching this on a different social media or whether you're watching me on Patreon. You matter. You're important. I appreciate you. You have a bright future, and keep coming back. Thank you. This is Bridget with Chasing a Dream Artistry. Again, I hope y'all guys stay with me for this journey, no matter what part of the journey y'all come in at. Keep showing up, keep being a part of it. We'll keep working together, finding out what we like, finding out what does well, and changing our world together. And I think it's possible. I think it's something that's sustainable. I think that it's something that I'm looking forward to, and